there's water in the boat. Bittersweet words dancing in my mouth, but I can't get them out. Truth is I'm tired of lying to myself. I've been trying to figure out what went wrong, or was it wrong all along? Truth is I'm tired of lying to myself. I've been trying. You ain't the one. Our time is up. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. We talk in circles and never bring it up. Just me and you, a table for two, but we're not saying much. Baby, almost could never be enough. Thirsty for more, the wine that you pour is poison in my cup. Bittersweet words dancing in my mouth, but I can't get them out. Truth is I'm tired of lying to myself. I've been trying to figure out what went wrong, or was it wrong all along? Truth is I'm tired of lying to myself. I've been trying. You ain't the one. Our time is up. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Truth is I'm tired of lying. Tired of lying. I've been trying. I've been trying. What went wrong, or was it wrong all along? Truth is I'm tired of lying. Tired of lying. I've been trying. You ain't the one. I'm moving on. Truth is I'm tired of lying to myself. I've been trying to figure out what went wrong, or was it wrong all along? Truth is I'm tired of lying to myself. I've been trying. You ain't the one. Our time is up. I'm moving on. Our time is up. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on.
You told me I'm your angel.
So, yo, what's up, guys? It's me. It's me, it's Wild Dog, and yeah, welcome back to my welcome back to my stream. I really hope you give a like and give a like to my stream. Anyways, what I did there. Oh, hell, chicken. Okay, let me show you something. Let me show you something. I want to do that with my boys. Alright. Alright. Let's do some videos. One video, of course. Give no like, what the fuck? Anyways, scary facts, you know? Scary facts. Let's watch some scary facts. Ooh, spooky. Spook. You know? Scary facts, Reddit. Still, one viewer in the chat.
There's usually multiple larvae at a time that leave craters in the host's body. What very creepy fact will keep you up at night? I saw a news story on a woman with a rare type of epilepsy that causes her to see everything like a slideshow or a video game that gets 10 frames per second.
Whoa.
She described watching cars drive by and saying they freeze in place for a moment and then snap into position further down the road over and over. Her entire life is played out in front of her eyes in still frames, and because of that she wears blinders or earmuffs because her senses are constantly contradicting one another and it overwhelms her. I can't imagine
seeing
how
like in a
horrifying
video
it would be
game,
to
like
experience life like she does. Somewhat recently, 2012, scientists discovered over 1,400 new species of bacteria living in the belly button. Everyone's belly button ecology is unique, added to the fingerprints and snowflakes list. In that same study, one volunteer's belly button harbored bacteria strands that had only ever been found in soil from Japan, where this man has never been. There is a rare genetic disease called fatal familial insomnia where over the course of months you cannot go or be put to sleep no matter what you take or what you do. The symptoms get progressively worse until finally you stay awake watching yourself go insane until you die from exhaustion.
Okay, that's...
There is a guy by the name of Ricard Sajian who documented this genetic disease on YouTube, and with each video you can tell his mental state gets worse and worse. It eventually gets so bad that his last videos are just weird conspiracy theories and, as expected from a disease with no cure, he sadly passed away. Before he started suffering from it, since it can sit in your genetic code for years.
We're gonna look it up after this video.
He was an artist. May he rest in peace. Indian followers of the Zoroastrianism don't bury or burn their dead. Instead they leave the bodies in special towers, exposed to the elements to be eaten by vultures. Unfortunately the vultures are now endangered, leaving the bodies to slowly rot. If you stare at the mirror in the dark long enough, your brain starts to make your eyes see things. Usually transforming you, or the room, into something horrifying, more usually monsters. This is called peripheral fading or the Troxler effect. Don't try this at home.
I had this before.
There was a man from France, named Terrer, 1772 to 1798, who couldn't stop eating. By the time he was 17, his parents kicked him out.
He ate everything.
He was eating his own body weight in food daily at the time. When he enlisted in the army rations just couldn't satisfy him. Often, he would sneak out at night and search for offal in the garbage and the gutters. He was hospitalized, doctors trying to find a cure, but at night he would raid the morgue. Scientists unable to stop his ability to eat almost anything began to study it. They'd feed him such random things as eels, he'd swallow whole, lizards, and so on. All of which, he ate alive. When a 14-month-old baby disappeared, he was chased from the hospital by an angry mob. He later died of tuberculosis.
Yeah.
One reason that crows and ravens are associated with death is because they would often follow armies as they marched to battle. Being both carrion birds and extremely intelligent, they realized that a large group of armed men marching on one direction meant that there would be a tasty meal of corpses to eat soon afterwards. If you ever need two vertebrae fused in your spine, they will sometimes scrape bone out of a corpse and stick it in there to knit the bones together. I found this out when my spine surgeon said this will be your second discectomy, which means there might not be enough disc left to support the joint. So, when we get in there, if things are too unstable, we'll fuse the bones together with some donor bone. I then had the interesting experience of being anesthetized without knowing whether I'd wake up with a dead man's bones inside me. While most parents do what they can to prevent or stop their babies from crying, that's not always the case in Japan. That's because it's a 400-year-old Japanese tradition that if a sumo wrestler can make your baby cry, it means he or she will live a healthy life. During a special ceremony, parents hand over their infants to sumo wrestlers who bounce their precious dots up and down and sometimes even roar in their little faces to get the tears flowing. He's not a baby that cries much, but today he cried a lot for us and we are very happy about it, Mother Meishige said at a 2014 event.
When
your organs are taken out of your body for abdominal surgery, they don't get placed back in carefully or specifically. You just put all the organs back in and the body sorts itself out. On top of that, some people are born with a condition called situs inversus, in which all their organs are a mirror image of what is normal. Having this automatically disqualifies you from being in the military.
Having that.
If the heat death of the universe turns out to be correct trillions of years from now, rather than a big crunch, Then it will reach a point of absolute entropy, and time as we understand it will have no meaning. On a long enough timeline, once stars stop forming because gas and dust particles become too rare or scattered to form a sufficient mass to produce fusion, the existing stars will slowly, gradually, exit their main sequence and become red/hypergiants, then collapse to dwarf stars. Eventually even the dwarfs, the faintest light in the universe, will blink out, their matter consumed by black holes. Many trillions of years of Hawking radiation will bleed away even the black holes until everything reaches a state of unending changelessness. No physical processes will exist to mark the difference between one moment to the next. No biological or chemical reactions. No atoms and no movement and no light. Time as a linear concept will not exist because nothing will exist that could justify the presence or effects of time.
God damn it. Oh, that's Burger King.
Fragt sich, ob von zu Hause arbeitet.
A rat king is a phenomenon created when a large group of rats become fused together by their tails via ice, dirt, hair, blood, or even feces. Encounters with this horrible phenomenon inspired some of humanity's greatest myths. Don't Google image search. Vlad the Impaler was called that because he killed his enemies by placing them butt first on pointed poles that would slowly skewer them to death. He would also torture people by removing the skin from their legs, coating them in salt, and have goats lick the salt off. The guy was completely messed up.
Yeah, he was.
Postpartum depression can show up in a new mother virtually overnight. It can make them hallucinate or go into psychosis, making them think their baby is a demon or the Antichrist, for example. New mothers kill their own children because of postpartum depression more often than you might like to think. The more the mother knows it's a possibility, the better she'll be able to combat it if it arrives. My mother had it to a small extent when I was a baby, and her telling me about it was my first experience with it. She said she was feeding me and she looked down and my face had been replaced with some kind of demon. She immediately looked back up and closed her eyes, and when she looked back down I was back to normal. She had a background in psychology and was pretty familiar with the whole process, so luckily she was able to work through it. When anglerfish mate, the male literally deforms its body and fuses with the female, then they live together for the rest of their lives. You could also argue that the male isn't even truly alive after a certain point in this process as well. Once they latch onto the much larger female and begin to fuse, their internal organs also start to deteriorate. They have no blood flow of their own and are completely reliant on the female for nutrition and removal of waste produced by biological processes. The only organ that remains entirely intact are the gonads. So they basically become a pair of testicles that the female can use to fertilize her eggs whenever the need arises. Big companies like Target know and record when you're cheating on your partner. It tracks your path in the store, which aisles, what you are buying, etc., and uses an algorithm to predict what they are going to buy, so they send coupons based on that via email. They have so much data on their customers that they know if you're married or single based on your purchases. When they see that you're buying things like condoms as a married person, they make the assumption you're cheating. They want to know this so they don't accidentally advertise to you condoms, since you probably share a computer with your spouse, so they keep those purchases secret. While filming the movie The Exorcist, many actors got injured. The set burned down. A priest was brought in several times to bless the set, and the actor who played Burke, Jack McGowan, died of influenza. Just so you guys know. The Exorcist, a supernatural horror film directed by William Friedkin, was based on the 1971 novel of the same name by William Peter Blatty, which was in turn inspired by the exorcism case of Roland Doe, a pseudonym given to the victim by the Catholic Church. The 1973 film portrays the demonic possession of a 12-year-old girl. The story revolves around how the mother of the child attempts to seek normalcy in her daughter's life with the help of two priests who conduct exorcism. From its onset, the film went through troubled waters. Prestigious directors not only turned down the film, but ominous events surrounded the year-long shoot. Nearly 9 people died who were associated with the production of the film, and a mysterious fire destroyed the set one weekend. People started to believe that the project itself were cursed. A priest was brought in several times on the set to bless the film, its actors and the project. However, as if all the tragedies during the filmmaking process were not enough, then just after the work was wrapped up, the actor who played Burke in the film died of influenza. During the Victorian era, It was not uncommon for families to take pictures with recently deceased relatives.
I've heard about this one.
This was done as one final moment
I've
with
seen
that
some
person
pictures
to
of
honor
this.
them. We actually have some old family pictures like that. My dad told me that usually old pictures of people are not perfectly clear because people would still move a little bit during the time it took to take the photo. But if someone appears very clearly, i.e. they were sitting perfectly still, that might very likely be because they were dead when the photo was taken. Creeped me out for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy. And come on. Still 2 views in the chat.
Mathematically, it is possible that somewhere scattered around the universe exists a number of living beings that resemble you but with slight differences. Technically they are not copies, but if one of these beings were to take your place, nobody would notice. Cotard's delusion is a
Whoa.
rare psychiatric condition, severe cases of which cause the sufferer to wholeheartedly believe they are dead, putrefying, or simply do not exist. Some Cotard's patients refuse to eat, as they do not believe they need to, with one notable patient dying of starvation. Another woman once asked to be taken to a morgue, to be with the other dead people. When a person is electrocuted in the electric chair, they feel everything. They are fully aware of their bodies being fried as it happens in real time. One inmate who survived the first round of electrocution said it tasted like cold peanut butter. When it came to the first electrocution, they basically slow roasted the first inmate on the chair till he thankfully passed away, and the room where it took place stank of fried human flesh. As time went on, they were able to dial it into where it would cause the least amount of pain to the inmate, but the first few electrocutions were brutal. Botflies. The very fact that they exist is more than creepy. See, these
Botflies?
little bastards are parasitic. By that I mean they bite an animal or human to inflict an open wound and proceed to inject their eggs into the wound.
Ugh.
The larvae that hatch feed on the host, while the host is alive, until they mature enough to fly and continue the circle. Oh, and there's usually multiple larvae at a time that leave craters in the host's body. The children's story of the Pied Piper of Hamelin was based on a real event. Hamelin town records start with this event. The earliest written record is from the town chronicles in an entry from 1384 which states, "It is 100 years since our children left. No one know what or who took the children, but there's records of the entire town's children being taken.
Still 2 views in the chat.
The bodies of the sailors who died on the Edmund Fitzgerald are still down there, almost perfectly preserved, due to the water at that depth being just barely above freezing. Divers who have explored the wreckage have seen their bodies frozen in place to parts of the ship, and have come back reporting that they feel as if they were being followed during their time underwater. Photos were taken, but per the request of the crew's family, they have never been released to the public. Despite there being no bone, it's possible to break your penis, usually through rough fun. It can lead to erectile dysfunction, permanent penile curvature, and damage to the urethra. It's quite painful. The Kurds practice cracking their wiener, but not breaking it, which has led to a rise of penile practices in Iran.
That's weird.
The RMS Titanic's sister ship, the HMHS Britannica A mined and sank. The captain decided to hold the lowering of the lifeboats and try to beach the ship on nearby Kia Island. He eventually ordered for the lifeboats to be lowered and stopped the ship's engines. However, before the order was given, a couple of lifeboats were launched while the ship was still moving. Some of these lifeboats on the port side moved towards the propellers, and what resulted was a bit of a blender situation, ultimately killing 30 people.
And another ad, of course. Still 2 people in the chat, I mean in the stream, or chat, whatever.
Abraham Lincoln's personal guard went out for a drink a few hours before his assassination. He met a man there that was extremely jittery. The man was famed actor John Wilkes Booth. Eyewitnesses said the Booth was tense and wasn't sure he could do it. Nobody knew what he was going to do, but because he was such a famous actor, people helped him to calm his nerves. The personal guard and Booth had a few drinks together and soon left for the theater. Later that same night, Booth assassinated Abraham Lincoln while the personal guard was there on duty. Thanks for listening to Radio TTS.
Okay, that was it for the video. Yeah, that was it for the video. And I'm so tired, dude. I'll be back. I'm gonna get I'm gonna get something to drink. Okay, I'll be back. I'll be back soon. Okay.
You told me I'm your anchor. I told you you're my pole. Through the wind and fire, we try to hold on. We build this ship together, searching for a home. Despite the storm that hit us, we're still on board. Dancing in the moonlight, the world just stopped and stares. We got no destination, I'll take you anywhere. All the doors we've opened and all the books we've closed. Words just come together, story that we never told. So far forsaken for my own. You said just keep holding on. If you're about to break, I'll always be your captain. From our failures we have grown. You said just keep holding on. If you're about to break, I'll always be your captain. I'll be your captain. I'll always be your captain. I'll always be your captain. You told me I'm your anchor. I told you you're my pole. Through the wind and fire, we try to hold on. All the doors we've opened and all the books we've closed. Words that come together, a story that we never told. So far forsaken for my own. You said just keep holding on. If you're about to break, I'll always be your captain. From our failures we have grown. You said just keep holding on. If you're about to break, I'll always be your captain. Be your captain. I'll always be your You will never cease to be beside me. Constant, not dependent on what I see. And I can always trust you know what I need. And now I know that I can trust you rightly. And you came through the sky like you opened blind eyes. So I'm giving you right, no more looking behind. You are good, you are kind, you can have all my life. I'm yours, you are mine. 'Cause you're my miracle. You open my eyes. Every day brings trusting in the way that you provide for me today. What more can I say? Lift my hands and pray. I know you will always be enough, always fill my cup. Looked around the world to find a love that's something like your love, but I couldn't find anything even close. Anywhere that I go, everywhere now I know you will always have my heart. 'Cause you're my miracle. You open my eyes. Every day brings new life when I'm by your side. When I'm by your side. You always are. You're always so good. You always are so good. Yeah, you will never fail me. 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 Yeah, you will never fail me. 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 No. Whoa, you will never fail me. You will never fail me.
I know the story of your life through winter storms and summer skies. There was a time when you were young and free. So let's go back to the beaches where I'd always make you laugh, to the forest where we found a hidden path, to the summertime of 2005, when we were still alive, when we were still alive. When we were still alive. When we were still alive. So let's go back to the beaches where I'd always make you laugh, to the forest where we found a hidden path, to the summertime of 2005, when we were still alive, when we were still alive. 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 When we were still alive.
Sometimes I feel like I done lost it, and I don't even really know the cost yet. But every time fear is on my mind, you remind my soul that I'm free. I know I can't go on my own. You came so I wouldn't have to go it alone. You took the long road so you could show me home. Found love better than I've ever known. So now I know that I can say you are exalted above everything on the earth that I've seen. Cause I know that my dreams come alive in the love that you promised to me. I'll keep singing your praise and you know I believe. Even when I'm down in the darkness, you call my name out loud. Used to think I had to do it on my own, but I'm never alone now. Even when I'm down in the darkness, you call my name out loud. Used to think I had to do it on my own, but I'm never alone now. I'm never alone now.
Okay. I'm back. So, let's play Roblox again. I drank some tea. 1 cup of tea, actually. Alright, let's play some Arsenal. Alright, home. Oh, I forgot to close the video. There we go.
Finish them quickly.
Nice. Oh god, I need to get out of here. Damn it. Hey dude, I just spawned there. Jesus. Oh my god, how did I miss? Oh my god, dude. No!
Don't let that happen again.
Go from where? No!
Don't let that happen again.
Oh god. Dude, I'm... GG's, dude. Randomize it.
time's come. Don't let me
Oh
down.
no. Not this. Just wait for a sec.
Hey, you got him.
Nice. Hey. Let's go, boy. Let's go. Hey.
Very good shooting.
Wait, did I close Roblox? God damn it. I closed Roblox. God damn it. Logged in live. Yeah. 36 minutes. Let's play again. Let the video play. Oh. I thought I was about to burp. Burp. This is competitive. Yeah, it's competitive. Yeah, that's one of my favorite modes. Look at that camp out there. Woo! Dude, every flipping time, dude. Finally, Jesus Christ. Still feeling this in the chat.
Very good shooting.
Shoot!
Wow.
Woo!
Nice.
Well, frick. Nice. I'm very low. Dude, I'm so dead, dude. I'm so dead. 69, nice. What? Good GG's. Oops. GG. Aircraft. Standard.
Right. The time's come. Don't let me down.
Oh, not that Railgun Royale again. You know what? I'm just really sorry right now. Yeah, yeah, but it's alright. I'm just gonna stop streaming now.